I'll make this a change my mind for the day. Here's what I think, because you just heard me say, Joe Burrow playing great, but they haven't won games. Justin Herbert playing great, going toe-to-toe with some of the best quarterbacks in the sport, including Brady and Mahomes, but they don't win the games. All that is fine. No one's criticizing them. Tua is taking over a team that suddenly finds itself very much in the hunt to win the AFC East, and they bench a very hot quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick to do it. So my opinion is this: there is more pressure on Tua Tagovailoa to play well the rest of this season than there is on Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert combined, because there are no moral victories for a team in the thick of a race. Let me bring the guys in and see if anyone wants to change my mind. Let me see. I'm looking at Jeff's face. Do you want to change my mind on that, Jeff Saturday?
Heck yeah, I want to change your mind. I love how you laid it in thick, though. I mean, you know what I mean? It's the right and the crux of the playoff. They're this, they're that. Here's the truth of it. The truth of it, this is a feel-good story right now, right? Tua comes back last week for the first time, throws his first 2 passes. This guy, his career was almost ended with the hip injury. The Dolphins are still rebuilding and still moving forward. They are playing well as a football team. But make no great expectations in this football team, in my opinion. They want to get their guy. They want to get their franchise started now. Continue on with Fitzpatrick, knowing you're going to make a move. If you felt like he had shown you in practice that he's improving and he's ready for the game, you know he's going to make errors. He's a rookie. You know where their team stands. So I think what you're allowing is you're allowing everyone else's perception. From the Dolphins' perspective, they have a long-term view of what Tua needs to do. You can't learn by watching. It does not work. It's a different situation than what the Chiefs had with Alex Smith years ago, because they were going to go to the playoffs. I still don't think the Dolphins make it there. I don't think sitting Fitzpatrick puts undue necessary pressure on Tua. I think this guy's going to come in, fulfill his role, and try to get better like these other young quarterbacks have shown.
I am surprised to hear you say that, Jeff, to use your own words. I'm wondering if you're not high, because if you're another player in that locker room, if you're an offensive lineman, a veteran in that locker room, you want them playing the kid because they might be able to win championships 2 years from now, or you want them playing the guy who's going to win me football games this year when I'm 3-3 in a division where I might wind up winning it?
Yeah, again, listen, their offensive line isn't playing great, brother. Like they understand Fitzpatrick has played out of his mind. I fully agree with that. But we all know what Fitzpatrick usually does, right? He has 6 or 7 games where you're wild, and then he'll have 6 or 7 games where you're like, man, we can't buy a win here. I think they're looking for consistency. And again, the problem with Tua is you haven't seen anything. They haven't brought him in. They have to bring him in so you can at least see what you have and get this kid built up, because we don't know. He may give you a better chance to win the playoffs this year if what they're seeing in practice translates to the game field.
I agree, which is why I think there's more pressure on him than there is on the other quarterbacks. Greg, tell Jeff he's high.
Jeff, you're high, to use your word, all right? Seriously, because the more pressure is the bigger the shoes. And you mentioned it, man. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick's playing out of his mind. And by the way, the team is playing hard for Ryan Fitzpatrick. So to win over the veterans and to do all these other things, if things start to go a little sideways, that's going to be really difficult on Tua and difficult on the staff to say, hey, look, we're playing for the future. So I think Greeny's totally onto this, because the expectation level for the Chargers and for the Bengals this year is essentially non-existent. And it was non-existent for the Dolphins, but they've clearly found themselves the last few weeks of the season.
Yes, we just cheered Joe Burrow for throwing for 400 yards in a loss. We've been cheering Justin Herbert for making games out of it when they played against the best teams in the NFL. There's going to be no cheering if the Dolphins start losing games, is what I think. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.